viewers, thank you for joining us for another episode of Talk the Talk with me, Desh Pechin, a fitting tribute in the form of an interview for the power of humility and dedication. Today, I introduce you to Noddy Schutte, the co-founder of the Independent Dealer Association. This journey in the motoring industry of South Africa helped him on his way to becoming widely regarded as one of the greatest leaders in the industry of all time. Following a career that contained some of the incredible contributions he's made to the independent dealer network, Noddy is currently devoting himself to helping others excel in their field of work and is recognized for his humanitarian efforts just as much as his power in the industry. Noddy's belief in resilience and perseverance reminds me of a famous quote, which we all would do well to live by. Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that really counts. Noddy is a true testament to the beliefs of staying calm and collected when faced with stress or danger. Noddy's success didn't come without some serious hard work. This attitude of overcoming any challenges he was faced with led him to a hugely successful career in motoring, which I personally believe is reflected by my courage and motto that I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying. So, without further ado, please help me in welcoming Noddy Schutte, proudly brought to you by Sariti Solutions. Hi, Noddy.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me.
I mean, it's such a privilege. Again, another influential man in motoring South Africa that I just mentioned, and it's been, we met last year already, and I was in awe of everything you've done in the industry, and hence I actually didn't think you would come. So I'm so grateful that you have joined us today. I think, Noddy, let's start off by telling our viewers, where did this journey in motoring begin for you?
I've been in motoring now for around about 35 years. I moved from a banking environment into the motoring environment 35 years ago. Started with partners in the industry, and we had about 3 to 4 outlets in the West Rand, and from there the journey of the IDA started.
Okay.
And eventually I was bought out by my partners to do the IDA full time.
Okay, so what is IDA and where did all of this start?
Maybe I should explain to you what the situation in the motor industry was at that particular time.
Yes.
We had 3 major banks or credit providers in our industry. And then one of the major credit providers backed out of the industry and decided not to service the dealerships anymore. And we only had 2 of the major credit providers in the industry, which was unsettling for us, because if you only have 2 players in the market, the competition seems to go away. The one bank was just a different color to the other one. There was no initiative to fight for more business, and that's where the whole idea of the IDA started, because the independent dealers out there has never ever had a body through which they could talk to the banks and negotiate with the banks. In the beginning, we were accused of unionizing the industry, and that was never our approach. We said, they are our business partners, and we should go into business with them and negotiate with our partners how both of us could go forward into the industry, because there was a lot of changes on the horizon for the industry. And that's how the IDA started. The IDA as it stands today is just short of 900 independent dealers out there, and they're countrywide. The footprint is from Uppington to Nelstroom, down to Durban, down to Cape Town. Wow. If there was a dealership on the island, we would have had an IDA member there as well. So, and it was a long journey. It didn't happen overnight. Initially, I did it part-time, and then eventually it became a full-time job, which I still say thank you very much up until today. And out of the IDA environment, we also established the Bluechip Dealer Group, which is also, we're still in a partnership with the IDA as well, through our compliances and stuff. Because at the later stage, the IDA's main focus changed due to legislation, because compliance was then the buzzword, and that's where the IDA really came to the forefront, because we could assist the members in the compliance environment. As we know, it's quite an expensive environment. It's quite a stringent environment of where the fines are massive if you do not comply. But it was also very good for the industry, because now the industry, you don't have the loose cannons anymore. Everybody has now got to comply to legislation.
Right.
A simple idea is, but you got a 1,000-kilometer or 30-day warranty. But it was just industry standard. It was never written in legislation, so the one guy could say, I'll give you 2,000 kilometers. And the other guy would say, I'm going to give you nothing. Now we are forced by legislation, the 6 months perceived by the Consumer Protection Act. So that's when the IDA really came to the fore and gave excellent added value to their members.
Okay, and how do you feel, or why do you feel that IDA, you've touched on a few aspects of why the IDA is significant, but can you explain more about that?
Well, first of all, you know, if you operate on your own little stand on the corner there, you're in isolation, where you've now got a partner in your business that's not telling you how to run your business. It's just a partner that's telling you, these are the options to run your business better, and these are the options that you can do to make sure you stay within the compliance environment. But we've never unionized. We don't buy vehicles together. We do not force the banks to deal with our members, even though part of the
Criteria.
The code is that you have to be approved by 3 other major credit providers in order for you to become a member of the IDA.
And a little bit more about Bluechip?
Bluechip is, because the focus of the IDA started going the compliance way, and we had a massive member expansion within the IDA. There were some of our like-minded dealerships, of which I was one, which thought, you know, we want to take it to the next level. And the Bluechip has got a very stringent code of conduct. But there, the meeting of minds is the main thing. Just to give you a practical idea, I would have a vehicle, you would have an approved client, and I can pick up the phone because you're a Bluechip member, and I can say, let's do this deal together. Yeah, and if there's, because we're small enough, we've limited our membership to 150 maximum. We can do a lot of things that within the bigger environment would not work. And that's and if I may say so, we are the top of the pyramid. There's a very stringent selection process. The country is dealt up in cells, and we only allow 25 members per cell. Like down in Cape Town, 1 cell, maximum of 25 selected, and you apply, and then it goes to all the members in that cell, and we must have an 80% approval rate before we bring you on board as a member
of the Bluechip.
And we're not a secret society.
Wow. So what is the criteria, or what are the rules and regulations for becoming a Bluechip dealership?
I think first of all, honesty and integrity. We've got a very stringent code of conduct, which you have to adhere to. And we also do our own complaint resolution processes. Once the owner and the customer can't see eye to eye, we step in. We're independent in that process, and we help the customer. And that gives him peace of mind, that if the dealership, according to him, doesn't handle him well, there's another tier that he can go to before he can even go to the motor industry ombud.
Yes.
You know, there's some interesting stats on that. A little while ago, research was done where the motor industry ombud, still 65% of his rulings was in favor of the dealerships and not the customer. But there's a reason for that. It's not that they are dealer-centric. It's because the dealers tend to sort out their problems before it goes to the motor industry ombud. So by the time it reaches the ombud, and like for instance within the Bluechip Dealer Group, we said we can't help. We've done that according to what the Act says.
Yeah.
So then the motor industry 9 out of 10 times comes to the same conclusion as we've did. So we're very fair with our clients in it. And for the member itself, there's a lot to lose if he loses his membership. And in the 10-12 years that we've been running with the Bluechip, we've only had one member which we had to ask to go.
Wow. So are you still very heavily involved with IDA, or have you moved your focus now to Bluechip?
No, I've retired at 55 out of the Bluechip because I was tired. It was a long journey.
Yes.
But then I retired down to Mossel Bay, and I did open a dealership in Mossel Bay.
Right.
Within the bastion of the Afrikaans speaking people, I called it Panache. And the first day I opened, I had a little mat there which says "Welcome to Panache." And this one Afrikaans gentleman walked in there, and I'm Afrikaans speaking.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "Panache, what kind of name is that? You won't make it in this town, boygie." Because he thought I was English speaking or French. You know, I had to explain to him what Panache means. So, and then I developed another program for the industry, and I wanted to launch it on my own, but I was called a disruptor, and then I got a partner in, and I came back out of the wood work, and then we decided, because then at that stage Bluechip was only a local thing for the Eden municipality and Cape Town itself. Okay. Our headquarters was in Worcester, and we met there.
There's a few dealerships in Worcester.
Yeah. and we met there, and then during that period we decided to expand the Bluechip idea. Okay. Our footprint isn't completely countrywide, but the coast, because we love the sea, as from PE down to Cape Town, and then up here, and Pretoria, as well as, like I said, Port Elizabeth. Yeah. And then towards Uppington, we have a couple of guys, smaller guys, in the Platteland.
Okay, wow.
And even Vredendal.
Wow. Okay. So you want to achieve a bigger footprint for Bluechip, obviously.
Yeah, but it's not a question that we're chasing membership. It's a question of growing.
Yes.
And gradually, so we can accommodate 150 members.
Well, I'd love to work with your Bluechip members. And I think that's in the pipeline for us, hopefully. And we would definitely be bringing more content and definitely looking at the questions that we have been addressed with regarding pre-used dealerships. So I'm hoping that this would be a start of something new. Noddy, you have an amazing and unique way of approaching business. Why so?
I think if you come from nothing, I wasn't born a rich boy.
Oh, so you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth, okay?
No. I was a fairly average
but now you live in
kid
a
around the
estate,
block.
so.
No, I don't. No, I'm joking. I think the main thing to me is that if you do business, you do business in a form of a partnership,
Yeah.
where there's a win-win situation.
Yes.
You know, when we started the IDA, one of the bigger credit providers said to me, "But you guys are only out here to make money from us." And I said, "Never ever. It is a road together, because it's new for us, it's new for you guys. We need to do this road together. And if it's not a win-win situation, then you tell me, and then we stop our relationship." So my dealings in life is to make sure that the partner that I deal with also wins out of the situation.
Yes.
I had a mentor in the motor industry, because when I started there, he said to me, "Noddy, you will never have money." And that was so true, because all your money went into your stock. I mean, you never had money. Trying to balance cash flow was, and he said to me, "You know, when you've done a good deal is when both parties feel a bit that they didn't do a good deal." I said, "Then you did a good deal."
Wow.
He said, because if the one is satisfied and the other one is not satisfied, he says it's not a good deal.
Yes.
So I go for both must be satisfied.
Yes. And I think that's one of the reasons, or contributing reasons, that I've asked you to join me, because we know a person in common, Elise Marie from MFC.
Yeah.
And, she always says to me, she told me once, and many other times, that she said, "Desh, you don't have to worry about competition and what they're trying to emulate you with, because you are driven by passion and not by profit." So that's exactly what you said now in different words, but it's all about satisfying both sides of the parties. So that's amazing.
You know, this IT environment that we live in, and people live
Yes.
off Facebook and all the. To me, the bottom line is people deal with people. I always say that to my people as well. People deal with people. You know, don't tell me that you've sent a guy an email and he hasn't responded. Pick up the phone and talk to him.
Yep.
That's the way you immediately know what the response are.
Yep.
And that's how you build relationships.
Right.
You know, it's not a question. And you got to go over that. But on the personal side as well, you need to know who you're dealing with. Has he got a family life? Has he got kids? Does he love his dog? Or that to me is very important. I want to know who I deal with.
Because we're all people.
Because we're people.
Yes.
People deal with people.
Yes.
And it's the same in the sales environment, within our environment. People source their cars on the internet. They communicate through emails. But the day they take delivery, that's the day that you meet the person. And we've lost, due to the whole environment, we've lost a lot of touch points. You know, in the good old days, Dad would go and kick the tires and talk to the salesman, and they'll have a smoke outside, and they'll talk rugby or whatever.
Yes.
Those days are gone,
Yeah.
because people haven't got the time anymore. So you've got to optimize when you deal with people. You've got to optimize that time that you have with that person, so that you remember him 3 weeks from now.
Noddy,
We're not selling cigarettes. We're selling
Yes.
big ticket values.
Yes, and I always say buying a house and a car is a major life decision. So it's important to get to know who you're dealing with, and it's important to secure that person with or make the person feel secure just with being around you and knowing you and who they're dealing with. So definitely. I think you're very successful, not just in business, but also, like we said just now, dealing with people. You're a people's person. You are so rooted, and you've got your feet firmly grounded. So how do you define success?
To me, success is what you leave behind, not what you got in the bank account. And rich people normally says this, because they can afford to say it. But no, that to me is, you must leave this world in a better place.
Yes.
Than
Can I
when
just say
you
something?
came in.
My husband always says it's better to be crying in a Mercedes than in a Polo. I'm just saying. Sorry for the brands. I love Polo, by the way, but
No,
I love VW.
I always say, show me a happy poor couple and I'll show you a Hollywood story. It helps. but you shouldn't be so focused on the material side that you forget what you're leaving behind. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about relationships, improvement of other people's lives. I would like someday, if I now go under and I go to the long trees, that somebody would say, you know, you contributed a lot to my life, not money-wise, but personally.
Yes.
Friends, I measure it on how long I retain friends.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't lose friends, you know you're doing something right.
Yes.
You know, and if you can say, this guy's been a friend of mine for 40 years, you're doing something right.
Wow. I mean, that's sustaining, again, what I said earlier on, not just sustaining relationships in business, but also in your personal life. I think it basically integrates with each other, and you know, if you carry those values within yourself and those characteristics of tolerance and respect and you know, connection with people, or understanding, you're going to be successful both personally and professionally. So yeah, but let's get back to business, because it's business that really intrigues me about you. Like, I never really wanted to be a businesswoman. I'm finding myself in a lot of situations these days that requires me to talk business. I'm just not that way inclined, but what has been, and I think I'm going to learn from this as well, what has been your most satisfying moments in business?
Shoo, there's been a couple.
Please tell me.
So it's very difficult to say. I think the day that the IDA membership went over 500 people, that to me was, we had a massive party when we went over 100. We thought, this is now
amazing.
We've run the 100 meters. Yeah, and never expected it to.
That happened
to
in
go.
1980 something, right?
No, 1998.
1998. Okay.
Yeah. So that to me was like, and then we went to 500 people, and in my personal life is the day I wrote a book called Met het Noddy Schutte.
Okay.
It's an Afrikaans book, and it's all about lies.
Oh wow. Okay.
Liegstories.
Okay.
And the day I wrote the last story for the book, I think that was also.
How long back?
Hasn't been published yet. Everything's been done. It's lying. It's waiting for me to retire because I haven't got the time. Because if you do a book, there's a lot of things that go.
Yes,
in afterwards,
especially with publishing it.
Yeah,
I could publish this book for you, but I kan 'n bietjie Afrikaans praat, and it's in Afrikaans, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge.
The Afrikaans version will be with a pinch of salt.
I'll do the English version for you, okay? But Noddy, what has been your greatest inspiration in life?
I don't want to sound stereotype, but people.
Okay.
People inspires me.
Yeah.
Even the negative people inspires, because you can learn from them as well. I don't like to be associated with, I must say that from the offset, because they tend to bring a dark cloud in your life which you don't need.
Yes.
But people inspires me.
Yes.
It's just the way people react to certain situations, and how. Yeah, I've got a lot of male friends, and every time they fall in love, and that's an inspiration, because they change completely.
Right.
You know, and it's lovely to. So people, I'd say people.
Okay. And Noddy, if you had a magic stick, okay, which are the 3 things that you would change in this world?
First of all, poverty.
Okay.
And then people that cannot go to school and learn knowledge. And the third one, this is just like a bit of a Miss World pageant.
This is a new question for me too, but I just thought this is an exciting.
I think happiness in your own life, because I work on that every single day. Yes. You know, it doesn't come naturally.
Yes.
I mean, you have to work on that.
Yes.
You know, and to create a happy environment for where you are in business, but at home. Those are the 3 things.
And I believe you, because, well, you've just validated that you have the motivation. As you said earlier on, you're not a young one anymore. And you was in hospital just recently as well.
Yeah.
Yes, and yet you here, not even 4 weeks later, and you're ready to go and ready to give it your best shot. So how would you advise even the young people out there to stay motivated?
Phew. There's a lot of sayings, and you can quote a lot of people like there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Tell that to somebody that's in the tunnel. They're not going to believe you. To me is, first of all, you must have a balanced life. Balance in everything. Don't overdo anything. So keep your life balanced. Eat well. If you drink moderately, because there's nothing wrong with a nice glass of wine at the right time. Yeah. So be moderate and then be balanced in your relationships and everything. Because like I said, with business, a partnership, relationship is also a partnership. And you've got to start from young with your friends. Share your dinky toy. And I know it's difficult, but yes, that's the way that my advice would be for young people starting out. And a bit of warning to them is you must focus on humans out there. Don't
uplifting each other, empowering each other, and being tenacious, and being, especially for women in the motoring trade, I would say, just to be resilient, and just, try and bounce back, as difficult as it is every single day, trying to balance work, being a mother, and it's a very difficult, especially now with COVID, and the mental status of some women that have been retrenched in the motoring industry, especially, just being strong and resilient and tenacious, and so.
But you see, if we have a balanced business, the women wouldn't have had to fight so hard for their positions. That's a shame that women have to, because you got the right attributes. Look how far the women have come in our industry, and again, thanks to compliance, because that somehow suits you like a well-armored suit.
Yes.
Because, and maybe it's because you learn the kids the discipline and stuff that goes over into your workspace.
Absolutely, empathy and I always say this on this show: men and women are both needed at the stable.
Of course.
And we both bring a different dynamic to the empowerment of the project, whatever project it might be, different initiatives, or just a different perspective on trying to empower, or like I said, make something a success. So
I want to tell you a nice little story about the motor industry, just to show you how far the motor industry have come.
I'd love to hear it.
Years ago, I'm not going to mention the manufacturer because they will kill me.
Okay.
But it was one of the big manufacturers, and they brought out a new derivative of an existing vehicle. But the back space, the leg space at the back, once the Motoring Guild writers,
South African Guild of Motoring Journalists,
when they wrote the article, they said, this is a real mommy's car. And this manufacturer went bananas. Because in those days, you didn't like a car to be stamped as being a mommy's car.
Yes.
And they went, and on the upholstery of the back seat, they took away 1 inch here and 2 inches on the back part of the back seat.
Right.
And they took a wide angle photograph of the more space they created. And they said, look how big we've now, because they didn't want. And today, our manufacturers know which vehicles are the popular vehicles that women buy. Women buy differently to us men.
Absolutely.
But gone are the days where daddy comes home and he goes in the front door and he says, surprise, I bought us a new car. Those days are gone.
It's an 85% contributing decision making in terms of women.
I call it pillow talk. That's where we lose most of our deals, is when we start with pillow talk. Because dad wants something and mom wants something else. And again, it's a partnership. Women, and I can state that for a fact, they buy on safety features. You know, when we were still uncertain of what women want, we brought out pink city golfs.
I remember that.
Which no woman wanted to buy, and eventually a shoe company bought all the pink ones, and and we put a flower on the dashboard for women. It's ridiculous.
I remember that. I remember that sunflower with the beetle.
And then eventually they turned it around the aerial. And the radio went all squeaky because
Listen, I had an RS6 parked here. Those are the cars we want. Okay, we want a nice, sporty-looking car with some nice. You know, we look at the ISOFIX and all of that because of safety, right? But we want space, but we want something sporty. We want exactly. We want the. You know, there's a book. I think his name is the Steve Harvey. Okay, act like a man, think like a woman, type of thing. So that's something like in terms of the motoring trade, or in terms of what we're looking for in a vehicle. And we've discovered that after doing so many reviews. I think we've done over 3,000 reviews on vehicles right here. So we do not want a pink car, trust me.
Or one with a flower pot on the dash.
No, we don't.
I mean,
we absolutely we love the speed. We love the we talk Newton meters and kilowatts, and we talk ground clearance, because we want to go. Fuel consumption, very important. But we also focus on, as women, there's single moms out there, many that wants to take their kids on game drives. So we're definitely looking at 4x4s. We're definitely looking at double cabs. It was never. It was never a big.
Never thought of that a woman would buy a double cab.
Yes, and now we're looking for double cabs where we feel like we're sitting in a small little car, and many of the double cabs are really very convenient to drive these days. So
they drive like motor cars.
Exactly. So, talking about women and the motoring industry, we met last year on the golf course, I think it was, right?
Yes.
Such a beautiful place, by the way. We met very briefly. I think my business partner came with me, and I was just taken aback by you. And I think you showed a lot of interest in terms of what we're doing here at the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards and the Talk to Talk show now. So how do you feel about our initiatives?
I think you're doing great stuff. If I was a woman, I would have been a permanent subscriber to. But it's not only.
You can still be a permanent subscriber.
No, I think you're doing an excellent job, and it helps. You know, we've come a long way, but we haven't completed the race yet. You know, as I sit here today, we're still training sales staff how to talk to the woman and how to get her involved, because she is involved. Like you've just said, 85% of the decision making, the woman is involved.
Yep.
Whereas we still have salesmen that ignores. They actually ask her to sit in the office while they go and show the husband the engine. You know?
Ignorance.
So we still have to. So there's still a lot of things that needs to happen, and not only.
And
in
this
the
is coming
industry.
from an Afrikaans, an old school Afrikaans man. I just want to put it out there, okay?
I had a very strong mother.
Yeah, there we go.
She was small, but she was strong, and she was headstrong. No, I come from a very happy family environment.
Yes.
But no, you know, it's. I don't want to go political.
Okay.
But we've left people behind, which we should have taken through education. Then this country would have had an economy second to none.
Yes.
If we started 50 years ago, getting women involved in the economy of this country, we would have been as big as China.
Ahead.
We would have been as big as China, because we had everything here. We have all the raw materials in the world we need. But no, we didn't.
And as Masha Mayaba, a CEO, she's now the CEO of Balo World. And she always says this, very big champion of my initiatives. She always says, Desh, we can't change the world. We can change someone's world. Actually, one of my staff members says that to me, but she says, let's just try and leave it better than we found it.
Exactly what I said. Yes. How are you going to leave this world behind?
Exactly.
Why will people remember you? I don't want people to say Noddy had money. I want them to say, we've lost a friend and we lost a colleague.
Yeah, that was a rich man, hey? No, definitely. I'm not going to remember you for your money. I don't know how much money you have, but I'm going to remember you.
None.
I'm going to remember you for the humility you carry around with you, and that's amazing. But let's talk about Noddy. Let's talk about Noddy at home. But firstly, Noddy, what is your name?
My name is actually Petrus.
Oh, wow!
Wilhelmus.
What? Not more Afrikaans.
So Noddy.
Our first conversation.
Noddy is a nickname.
Is it a nickname? Because our first conversation, viewers, I must say, was at the golf estate in Bryanston. Bryanston, hey?
No, Honeydew.
Honeydew, and I said then our entire conversation was between Andre Potgieter, my business partner, and Noddy, and the whole thing was in Afrikaans. So, but luckily I kind of bikkie Afrikaans praat, like I said earlier on, but also I was hoping that this interview would be in English, but so that Afrikaans name is very Afrikaans.
Very much so.
So Noddy, okay, we got your name out of the way. Let's now talk about Noddy at home. Okay. Who's Noddy?
Sure. A busy man.
Okay, that's good.
I'm very rarely am I sitting down and just saying, I'm relaxing. I've got a couple of hobbies. I'm a very keen photographer. And then golf, of course. That's my sport. I love golf. And there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, you play against the course, and then you play against yourself. Very rarely do you play against other people. People that plays against other people are professionals. They make good money. We go there for the excitement and to try and better yourself.
Yes.
And she's a grumpy lady, believe you me. Today you will be an expert, and a week later you will feel that you've never ever taken a club up. That's golf. That's why I love it so much. It's all the intricacies within the game that I really love. I do a bit of I used to do a lot of fishing.
Okay. You had a boat, right?
I had a boat.
Yes.
The boat.
You said the boat is making you Aina now.
Yeah. The boat's name was Billy B, my little pension eater. That's what I call the Laat Lammetjie.
Okay.
Her name is Billy, and the boat's name was Billy B.
Okay.
Standing for Billy's boat.
Right.
Because we used to slip out on a Sunday, and then only the two of us used to go fishing. But fishing is also a big passion of mine. I'm a great believer in catch what you can eat.
My husband too.
And release what you can't eat. And don't tell me you want to freeze it. You catch what you can eat in 2 weeks' time, and then afterwards you let go.
So do you do deep sea fishing?
Deep sea fishing.
Okay.
I used to do a lot of catch and release, where you mark the fish after you caught it. Been lucky once, caught a fish in a place called Skipskop, where that song comes from, Skipskop Goodbye.
Yeah.
Marked it, and it was eventually caught in Gordon's Bay, because you do get feedback when they catch a fish. So you mark a lot. You mark like 1,000 of fish, but just that one feedback. And then they also tell you how much longer, because you measure the fish and you weigh it. And then when somebody else catches it, they tell you what the gain was on the weight of the fish and how long the fish have grown. It's amazing, and I think it's a great contributor to preserving our fishing resources, because it's dwindling at a very fast pace, and that's something that we as leisure fishermen, that's one way that we can contribute to the sea. I miss the sea, eh?
Yeah, I can see that, and I think that's why you're going back to the coast now.
No, but I can't go fishing anymore. It's a tough.
Yes,
It's a tough.
absolutely.
It's a tough sport to have. Sometimes the sea is like a mirror, and sometimes it's really angry, and that's when it hurts you. It's when it gets angry and it's rocking the boat the whole time.
Yes, absolutely. Noddy, I want to say thank you so much. I'm literally like a sponge now, and just absorbing everything that you have said today. I hope to spend a lot more time with you. There's so much that we young ones can learn, not only professionally but personally, and to achieve, for our dreams and achieve what we set our minds to with your integrity, with your humility, and with your kindness and generosity. I think it is absolutely amazing that you've shared some time of your life, and I hope there's going to be more. I really hope this project will go forth and that you could bring more value to our initiatives. So I'd like to say thank you so much. Thank you very much for coming and spending some time with us. Is there anything you'd like to add to
I
this?
would like to say thank you as well. I want to compliment you on what you've achieved in such a short time, and I'm watching you.
Thank you.
You're going to go places.
I don't mind you watching me, Noddy. I know I will be staying on the right path if I have the guidance of the likes of you and many influential men in the motoring fraternity that have been such a guiding light to this young girl that knew nothing about the motoring trade. So I thank you so much. And yeah. We will see each other in the next segment,
Absolutely.
hopefully.
Thank you so much.
Viewers, thank you for following us on all our platforms, our non-profit companies, the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards, powered by MFC, a division of Nedbank, and the Talk Studios, powered by Sariti Solutions, are aimed at providing a platform to share our experiences and to educate the future generations to explore the endless and exciting career opportunities in motoring South Africa. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Women Talk, and please don't forget we have thousands of vehicles on sale to choose from countrywide on our vehicle listing portal at www.womentalk.co.za. And remember, viewers, we only advertise for trustworthy and bank accredited dealerships. Viewers, true leadership is more than authority and recognition from the outside world. Leadership is about developing people and helping others reach their full potential, just as Noddy continues to do. It's about equipping others with the right tools and strategies, not only to maximize the success of an organization, but also the lives of individuals. Leadership is about breaking down barriers and leading others through the uncertainty of the future. The best leaders ever to live not only succeeded in helping their teams with championships or their organizations to dominate the marketplace, but they deeply cared for people and understand what a privilege it is to be a leader. So in conclusion of today's episode, I'd like to thank individuals like Noddy here for empowering and contributing to our platform. And with that, I'd like to remind you, my ladies, that the question should never be who's going to let me. It should always be who's going to stop me.